Are you wondering how to get a dirty cast iron pan clean? Well, that's coming up next in today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name is Chris, and if you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or heck, even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. Today's video, though, we're talking about something a little bit different, and that's how to clean and care for cast iron. A lot of information out there on the internet, and I find most of it makes it way more complex than it needs to be. This pan is, as you probably see on camera, pretty dirty. I browned some venison for some chili for church this morning. We're having a potluck dinner, so I'm bringing a pot of chili. And I just kind of left this pan so I could show you guys how to clean it up. Honestly, the best way to clean a cast iron pan is when it's hot, right off the skillet. As soon as you're done cooking, you take your food out, just take a paper towel, an old dish towel, something like that, wipe it out real good, and that's really all you need to do most of the time. Now, I let this one sit, so you can probably see there's some stuck-on stuff down there. It got cold, so all that stuff sticks on. If this was still hot right after cooking, it would just wipe right out most of the time. But let's say that you did cook something like potatoes or something like that that did burn onto the pan and left some stuff behind like that's in this pan. I'm going to show you how to take care of that real quick. All right, you might be able to see this has got some stuff pretty stuck on, pretty good. So a couple of things that you can do here is, first of all, I have a metal spatula that I use on all my cast iron pans. Get one that doesn't have sharp edges on it. This is kind of rounded off, so that makes it pretty nice. And you can just scrape the bottom of it like that, and most times to take most of the stuff off. That's not going to work on here right now because, again, I've let this stuff cool, so there's some stuck on oil right there, or grease actually from the burger I just browned. Usually, when this pan is hot and just comes right off the stove, all you gotta do is just wipe it out. And that's it. Just wipe it out and it's done. It's good. But this one I've let cool down and get pretty stuck on. So we're gonna have to do a little bit more to it. One thing that you can do, what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of water to this. Now, one thing I will say, never add cold water to a screaming hot cast iron pan. You're going to crack it right down the middle. Not good. Now, if the pan's still just a little bit warm or whatever, you can add some water to it, but you do need to let it cool off before you add water. Then I'm going to turn my stove on, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and just get it heated up. Put a handle on here so I can grab a hold of that. And we'll give it a second here to come up to a boil, and we're just going to bring it just to a boil. I'll show you here in just one second. All right, you can see this pan is starting to boil now, so I'm just going to let it, just for a minute or two, just kind of boil. And you can see it's boiling mostly in the spots where the stuff was stuck on, and that's going to loosen up all that stuff. So I'm going to let it go for just a minute or two more, or just a couple of minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. Just get heated up all the way around. That's going to loosen up all that stuff that was stuck on there. Let it get boiling all the way around, and then we'll be done. All right, that's probably plenty. It doesn't take very much at all, just bring it up to a boil. Then I'm going to kill the heat, and I'm going to dump this water out real quick, and I'll be right back and show you what we do next. All right, so now the pan has been boiled, and you can tell already that it looks a lot better already. I'm just going to take a paper towel while it's still hot and wipe this down all the way around. And that took care of most of what was in the bottom of the pan. But there's still a few things kind of stuck up on the sides, so now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Now I've got a canning and pickling salt right here. You can use just regular table salt. Anything will work. This is just going to add a little bit of abrasiveness to it so we can kind of scrub off anything that's stuck on. Just regular old salt, and then use that to scrub the sides. And again, this pan is hot. You don't want to touch it with your bare hands, so I use a paper towel for that. And you'll feel, as you're rubbing around, feel like there's a little bit of a rough spot right there. You can't see it, but you can kind of feel it. So give that a little bit of scrubbing with that salt. Smooth it out. And there's a little bit of a rough spot right there I can feel. And there, I think we're about done. All right, let me go get rid of this salt, and I'll be right back. And there we go. We've got a clean pan. That's really all you need to do to that. If you want to go one step further, it's hot, so I've kind of dried it out already, drove all the water out of it. But if you cook something real acidic, like spaghetti sauce, something with tomatoes in it, or if you need to wash the pan with soap and water, which people will tell you, never wash your pan with soap and water. Whatever. Wash it with soap and water if you need to. It's not that big of a deal. Just dry it off real good, stick it on the oven, turn up the heat, drive the water off of it. But if you do something like that, you're going to need to add a little bit of oil to it, and you can use any kind of oil you want. Coconut oil works well, lard works well, any of those kinds of things. I'm just going to put a few drops of olive oil on here, and that's it, just a few drops. Then we're going to take a paper towel here, and I'm just going to wipe it all the way around. And this will just kind of help protect it, keep it from rusting. Basically, you want to wipe all that oil pretty much out of there. That's all it needs, is just a really thin coating. And there we go. We are done. This is a clean cast iron pan. It's ready to cook in, and that's all you need to do. And you can see it didn't take any time whatsoever to clean this thing up. It looks fantastic now. There's nothing stuck on it, no leftover, grease from the food or anything like that. This pan is ready to hang up, put away, leave it on the stovetop, use it again, whatever you need to do. That's all you need to do with that. A couple things I will say. Again, if you need to use soap and water on your pan, go ahead. I find it's usually not necessary, but don't panic about it. You hear everybody talk about never use soap on your cast iron pan. If you're doing it every once in a while, it's not that big of a deal. You're not going to break down all that seasoning with just one washing with soap and water. Not that big of a deal. I generally don't use soap and water just because most of the time when this pan comes right off the stove, if I would have scraped all that, or emptied it out, all the food that was in it, and then just immediately taken a paper towel and wiped it out real good, that's probably all I would have needed to have done. I let it cool down, and that's why everything was kind of stuck on there. So anyway, hopefully this helps you guys out, gives you something. Ooh, that pan's still a little bit hot. Gives you something that you can put to use in your kitchen. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, God bless.